A really interesting thing about this Reddit data is it allows organizations to get a pulse on their data over time. We're capturing things like sentiment and health over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and you're going to be able to identify when things are going good and when things are going bad. So, one of the best things about using Reddit as a data source to understand employees is you're able to get a holistic view of the employee conversation. Sometimes with internal collaboration tools or even surveys, employees tend to be a little bit more reserved, or maybe the communications aren't as authentic. When it's a public source like a Reddit, people are freer and they're more open to talking about things that they may not normally be talking about. So you may get a better sense of things like operations and efficiencies of scheduling your work week, and could also touch on some HR issues or some struggles with customers that you may not necessarily be privy to in normal collaboration tools and platforms. So Reddit was really interesting for us because it allowed us to present that data back to our users and um, our key stakeholders, our HR professionals, and the people leaders that are trying to understand their people better, because it gave them that holistic view. I was really shocked and encouraged by some of the conversations that were happening on Reddit, because there was a lot of um, there was a lot of community building. There was collective problem solving that was happening. Also, that was really encouraging. But it was also really interesting to hear the struggles that people were going through on a day to day basis. That again, leaders may not have fully been able to understand or know. So I think Reddit as a employee understanding tool has a lot of value, and it was really insightful. One of the best ways we felt like businesses were actioning on this data was through understanding of their senior leaders. Employees on the front line or in corporate settings all care about the people that they work with, and they're having candid conversations about their C-suite leaders, their VPs, their directors, and they're doing that because it has a direct impact on their working day-to-day processes. They want to know who they're working for, and they want to know that the people that are in leadership are understanding them and listening to them. One of the key things that we found were people cared a lot about work from home policies. They wanted to know that their leaders had clear strategic visions, and they also wanted to know that their HR issues were being understood and cared for properly. So one of the one of the most insightful things that we were seeing from this data was that these people were talking about their leaders so often. And a really cool thing about these reports and how we're processing this data is we're able to kind of summarize those themes and that context and tell a story about the leaders and how they're doing for their people. So it's actionable because they're getting verbatims from their frontline, from their managers, and from the people that are in the trenches day in day out. And as a leader, that would be super helpful. And I think it's going to be something that's really valuable for directors, VPs, C-suite, and above. One of the best outcomes of using this data is to understand what is resonating with their people. So things like vacation policies, tuition reimbursement, and even increased pay or bonus programs. These are all things that can be tracked and understood as ways to increase loyalty within an organization and increase retention of employees. And then on the flip side, from a negative standpoint, you're going to get a sense of when things maybe aren't working out so great. Layoff talk, turnover rates are going to increase, and frustrations are going to be a little bit higher. And you're going to be able to understand that these things are top of mind with your employees.